What's up, y'all? Cepheus here. Today I have a new video series, and this will be called talking about concepts that I learned in school. So today I want to be talking about hierarchy and hierarchies of data. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I'm studying computer science. And I've had this thought for a while that one thing that is true about reality is that hierarchy exists everywhere. And the reason that hierarchy exists everywhere is because of metadata. And what is metadata? Metadata is data within data, or data about data. Essentially, it is properties. So when you go on a web page, there is metadata. When you go and take a picture, there's metadata of that picture. And aside from that, what metadata is properties. And when you have properties, that is what creates value. Because without properties, you cannot differentiate anything. If there is no properties of everything would be essentially the same. So when we have metadata, we have properties, and therefore we have value. So when it comes to data and the hierarchy of data, not all data is created equal, right? Data, information, knowledge, wisdom, they're all different. And we'll get into why. But I'm going to give it to you an example from a psychological perspective. In the brain, there's the visual cortex, and the visual cortex receives information through the eyes and makes sense of it into something you can make sense out of. Translates the metadata for you. Now, I'll get into the visual cortex in another video when I revisit those concepts. It's been a long time. But essentially, I'm going to give you this example. Say you're in an oasis. You're just looking at an oasis. It's got sand. Say there's a pool of water with a palm tree next to it, the sun in the sky. Now, what is all that? Imagine you know nothing. All that is just data. All that is just data. You have no knowledge of, or wisdom about, or information even about what exactly these things are. You see it as it is just data. And data that itself comes with properties. So when you look at this oasis, you see that there's a pool of water, and there's a palm tree. You're also going to notice the temperature, the heat. You notice the value. Say it's 100 degrees. Once you become aware that a temperature is at a certain temperature, right? It becomes information when we become informed. This is where we have to pay attention to the etymology, right? Information, becoming informed. Information is always a part of a system. So it becomes information when it relates to a certain system in the environment. That might be the, what do you say? What's the word for the environment? The biome, the atmosphere. So what happens when we raise the temperature? Because it existing by itself, just the temperature, that is still just data. But when this data becomes linked to a system, then it becomes information, right? Now at the information stage, if we change the temperature, say the temperature goes up 200 degrees, then what happens? Well, the pool evaporates, the plants die, the temperature the atmosphere is having a disaster, pretty much. Why is that? Because temperature is linked to and a part of so many systems in that environment, and changes to that temperature will affect other parts of the system, other parts of the data. And that's essentially information. Now, when we observe this, when we begin to understand, we learn that this hierarchy is like a layer of processing from data, information, to knowledge, to wisdom, right? So when you begin to understand, again, the etymology, we're going to get a little funny here. I know people talk about etymology, and you know how people try to make meanings out of the words. Well, now you have a knowledge, you have something to stand on. So you know that when the temperature rises up, there's gonna be changes in the environment as a consequence. That is knowledge. So now you have knowledge. Now what is wisdom? Wisdom is pretty simple. Wisdom is, now that you have this knowledge, you're able to manipulate the data, manipulate the information based upon your knowledge. And all that is possible because of a hierarchy. And when you're at the top of a hierarchy, everything below you can be manipulated to a certain degree. Every type of hierarchy, top of the food chain, whether you're the CEO of a corporation, whether you're president of the United States, whether you're the top of your field or the top of your sport, you're then able to manipulate the knowledge or the information, the information in the data more easily than the knowledge, but you're able to manipulate the information, the data, and the knowledge to some degree because you're at the top of the hierarchy. So I think that's mainly what I want to touch on. If you disagree with me, or if you have arguments, put it in the comments, because we like to hear your arguments. Just wanted to make these videos because I want to more deeply process the information that I learn, commit it to long-term memory more. So I think this is a pretty cool way of doing that, and also informing y'all of some concepts that I have or have learned about. Peace.